Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to my channel, or welcome to my channel if you are new. My name is Cristin, and we're just gonna start another vlog. I haven't vlogged in a minute, probably close to a month now. As I mentioned in an update video a little while ago, we got my son into therapy. We've been going once a week. He had his third therapy appointment last week, and things are going really well with that. We've been working on some, ways for anger management, and we're seeing some improvement, which is good. So anyway, I should have brought my tripod out here. I was not planning to vlog, so I'm gonna see if I can stand you up on top of my cup. It's working. So, and my dog is gonna bump the table to knock it right off. So yeah, today, well, first off, for this week, my husband is just out of town. He's gone southern part of the state. So it's been kind of lonely without him. It's okay during the day, but like in the evening time when the boys go to bed, I'm like, where's my husband? I have to sleep in bed alone. So I'm not falling asleep until like after midnight, because I'm like, I don't know, I hate being by myself. I'm so, like, I have never lived on my own, okay? Like, I went from living with my parents to living with my husband. So, well, he was my boyfriend at first, but you guys get what I'm saying. So, like, I've never been on my own, for like a long period of time. So yeah, when he has to leave for work, like on a business trip, it's always a little hard. So yeah, we're not doing a whole lot. I just poked around the garden a little bit. I didn't think I would enjoy gardening as much as I have, so I'm excited to do a bigger one next year. But we just had this big old zucchini come out of there. It's our first zucchini. We've got a handful of little baby ones that are still growing. And then I got a big old batch of green beans ready to go. So I'm just sitting out here snapping green beans, popping the ends off. We have a little green bean chat, right? Sit out here and popping the ends off green beans, snapping them. So yeah, Levi is out here playing with his water table and his sandbox. Ira is inside taking a nap. It is hot out. It's been hot out for a while now, like well into the 90s. But it just rained, so now it's hot and humid. Fun. But Levi wanted to come outside and play, so I'm like, well, I'm gonna go sit in the shade and you can do whatever you want to do in the yard. So that's just kind of what's going on right now. We did get word, well, I got word this morning. I think my parents even either got the phone call this morning or late yesterday evening. But my grandma was she's in the nursing home. She's got a lot of problems. I know anytime I mention she's in the nursing home, people want to like be hateful and be like, well, you should just keep your grandma at home, da-da-da. And I understand that, but like, you guys don't understand the issues that she has, and like, we're just not capable of taking care of her at home. That's what it comes down to. It's not something simple. She's got like a multitude of problems, and we tried keeping her at home. Things were just perpetually getting worse. And honestly, when she went into the nursing home 5 years ago, we thought she wouldn't live more than 6 months. Like, that's how bad she was. But the nursing home was able to get her straightened out, and she's lived another 5 years. And in some ways, yep, I'm vlogging. In some ways, I almost feel guilty for that. Almost like, because like nobody wants their family to live in a nursing home. Yeah, I'm popping the green beans, baby. You is that from your water table, or are you sweaty? He's just like drenched in the face. But I think that's from his water table. So yeah, like nobody wants their family to like live in a nursing home. Like, we never put her in there with the idea that she'd be in there long term. We thought of it more as like hospice care, kind of. I mean, because she was just really bad. Even the doctors weren't expecting her to live much longer. But the nursing home, getting her diet changed around and like having regular therapy, like regular types of therapies and activities, and like, because she was stuck in the house. Like, she can't walk up and down stairs. Hey, don't throw the zucchini around. You're going to bruise it. Bring it here. Bring it here. Thank you. That's not a toy. That's for food. We're going to eat that. We can't throw it around the yard. We'll bruise it up. Do you want to snap a pea?
No.
No. So anyway, yeah, it was never meant to be like a long-term thing. And the nursing home really did a lot of good for her. I mean, it's one of those things that's bittersweet. Like, on one hand, it did a lot of good for her, but on the other hand, like, nobody wants to be in a nursing home. And I know they definitely prolonged her life, and I've got mixed feelings on that, and people may think that's horrible of me, but you know,
Popped you.
you popped me,
Yeah.
you poked me.
What's that?
It's a sparkler. It got left out in the rain. Ooh, you're making a mess out of that. Now you're gonna be a firework and light you up.
I do fire.
Come here. Well, that one is no good. We have to wash our hands. Come here. Look. He started playing with a sparkler that got left out in the rain. I had no idea they would turn to mush. And now he's got it all over his hands. Oh, man. So, yeah. I say that in a negative sense as like nobody wants their family living in a nursing home for 5 years, you know, and like maybe if we'd kept her at home,
Popped you again.
you know, she probably would have passed away,
Popped
but
you
like
again.
maybe she would have had more dignity. Like I don't know. It's
Popped
hard,
you again.
you know, like on some levels it's like, well, you know, she's had some good times, but on the other hand it's like, do you keep somebody alive because it makes you feel good, you know? Like even though I'm keeping her alive, it's like, what's the quality of life, you know? And it's at a nursing home. Like I don't feel like that's super high quality, you know? Like I don't know, and I'm not really sure how to explain it. I feel like I'm explaining it poorly, and some people are going to understand, and other people are going to think I'm horrible for saying the way I've said it, and I feel like I'm explaining it really, really wrong. So anyway, off of that, kind of off that subject, we're probably not going to see cousins today, buddy.
We're halfway.
We might see them tomorrow. We'll see.
What's that?
It's a firework. Don't play with those because you already mushed one up. We're gonna leave those alone. Yeah, see, they just mush up when they get wet. I had no idea fireworks did that. So we got the call that she more than likely has cancer. She was having a hard time breathing, and they were worried it was COVID. The nursing home she's in has COVID, and so they took her in for x-rays of her chest and testing and stuff, and it came back from the x-rays that she has a lot of like lumps in her chest, or nodules. I'm not really sure what you would call it, cysts maybe, and from other x-rays they've done, her exams, she's got them in her ovaries, she's got them on. Why don't you go play in the pool or your water table?
I'm hot.
Or you could jump on the trampoline.
I'm
The
hot.
trampoline's shaded by the umbrella.
I'm hot.
Do you want to go inside?
Yeah.
Okay, let's go inside.
Let's get my pink.
Yeah, bring your tea.
Bring that bowl.
So, yeah, we got a call that they did a bunch of x-rays on her, and she has like nodules all over her body. They don't know for sure it's cancer without doing a biopsy, but they're pretty sure that it's cancer. My dad, with her age, she's 85. So she turned 86. I think she's 85 this year. With her age and her health problems, my dad doesn't want to put her through, you know, cancer treatments and biopsies. So he's saying just keep her comfortable. And so she's not going to be tested to see if it's cancer. He doesn't want to put her through that. So they're going to keep an eye on it. They're going to do another x-ray scan in 4 more months. And if things are continuing to grow, then we can kind of really assume it's cancer. But if she's already having a hard time breathing and she already has lumps in her lungs, does she have 4 months? Does she have 6 months? Like, we don't know. And keep in mind, like I said, she has like a slew of medical problems. One of which being Alzheimer's that I've talked about on here. And so like she doesn't always know what's going on, what's happening, which is a big reason why my dad's not pushing for them to do treatment, because how horrible is that to try to do a bunch of treatments on somebody who has no idea what's going on, you know? Like I can remember she ended up in the hospital. I think I vlogged this a little bit. This was like sometime last year. She ended up in the hospital. I want to say like maybe September or October last year. And they ended up having to do some kind of a vein that went like from like somewhere in her arm up to like her heart, or like somewhere in this area. And I was there holding her hand for it, and like we were so nervous that she would react badly because she wasn't fully there. She didn't really know what was going on. Like she has days that are good where like she's cognitive, and then she has days when it's bad, and like she doesn't really know what's going on, and she thinks she's in the hospital, and she doesn't know where grandpa's at. She doesn't remember that he's passed away, and there's like a whole slew of things, you know, and then she can get combative, and like, so we were really worried that when they were doing this procedure that she would like try to rip out the IV thing. I don't really know what to call it, but they sent it like up her arm into like her neck heart area. I forget what it was for. And I had to like keep telling her, oh, don't touch it, leave it alone, like hold her hand. And it was really hard, and it was really scary, because like the last thing you want is for somebody who doesn't understand what's going on to decide they don't want that done to them, and to like yank something like that out. So, you know, that just kind of, I just want to give a little insight as to like why my dad is not pushing for treatment with her, and just wants to keep her comfortable. Because, you know, I mean, if somebody doesn't understand what's going on, I mean, that in and of itself is like a risk. And it's like, are you going to chain them to a bed to do treatments on an 85-year-old woman? Like, you know, and it's not going to necessarily prolong her life any. So I feel like a lot of that I'm saying may come across as really callous. And maybe you just need to have a little understanding of, like, I've been exposed to death. Okay, like, I've watched people die. I have been in the room and seen both of my grandfathers die. I've seen my other grandmother sit in a hospital bed and waste away to nothing. I wasn't there the day that she died, but I was there the day that they put her into a medically induced a coma. And I came and seen her after that. And so it's like, I've been exposed to these things. I've seen the end of life suffering that people go to. And at some point you just start questioning, like, you know, quality of life versus quantity of life. And people who haven't exposed death and seen it the way that I've seen it, you know, or the way that, I don't have to say it has to be the way that I've seen it, but like, you know what I'm saying. Like, people who have watched other loved ones waste away and die in nursing homes and hospitals, like, there comes a point when you're like, quality versus quantity, you know, like, she may be having like an extra 5, 6, 7 years, but if the quality isn't there, what's the point? And again, it may sound really callous, but, you know, and in a lot of ways, we've had the last 5 years that we've really grieved her. And that sounds horrible. And if you've had somebody who's had Alzheimer's, I think maybe you understand. But you've had 5 years of saying goodbye. You've had 5 years of her slowly slipping away. You've had 5 years of, like, you know, her not being her. And, like, it's a treat when we get to go visit her, and, like, she's cognitive and knows what's going on, and, like, she's aware of who you are. And so it's a whole thing. But yeah, we found out today that she more likely has cancer. And that kind of puts my husband and I in a bit of a hot seat. As I've mentioned before, the house, I say it's an inheritance from my grandma, because it will be, and that just kind of like makes things easier. But like, we don't officially own it yet, you know, like, she still owns it. My dad has power of attorney, so in her will it's supposed to go to my dad, and then my dad's gonna sign it over to us. So in theory it should go off without a hitch, but it does like worry me because like it's not official, you know. So now that we're getting close to time where it's like she may be passing away, it kind of feels like, what do we do if things don't work out? Like, where are we gonna go? Like, and so I've been browsing on Zillow today for houses, and again, like, I feel like just saying everything that I just said and the way I've said it may come across extremely callous, and people are gonna think I'm heartless. You just have to understand, like, we've had 5 years of grieving her. We have had, and I feel like I just said this, but I feel like for people who have not been in my shoes and don't understand, and who have only lost loved ones that happen suddenly, or may just happen in a 6-month time frame, like, that's a lot harder. Like, one of my grandpas, he died from, like, he was healthy as a horse one day, got sick, and died in the matter of 6 months. And that was all very jarring and shocking for the family. And I was like, felt like the rug got ripped out from under you. He went downhill very quickly. So when you've had deaths like that versus ones that, like this one's, you know, I don't want to say 5 years in the making, but like, it's been 5 years of her being in and out of the hospital, 5 years of her being in a nursing home, 5 years of her living, like, losing who she is, 5 years of, like, her not always knowing who you are when you come to visit. Like, it plays a toll on you to the point where, like, I don't want to say you get numb to it, but, like, I've grieved my grandma. Even though she's still here, she's not here. And, like, I feel like I've grieved her. And so I in a lot of ways, I feel like that sounds callous. But, like, I feel like I've already lost her, you know. So I don't know. It's a delicate thing and it's hard to explain, and I just hope that nobody judges me too harshly for how I'm saying it, because I'm probably not explaining it well, and I really feel like it's something that you don't fully understand unless you've lived through it. So with that in mind and being reiterated, yeah, I've just kind of been browsing Zillow today, just kind of judging, trying to find out a little bit about the housing market and like what prices are at, because we've been here for 5 years and things have definitely changed, because when we moved out of our house 5 years ago, or our trailer, we were paying like just shy of $500 a month for rent, and so I've been kind of looking at houses and, you know, prices of houses, mortgage, rents and stuff, and it seems like the average mortgage cost is like $800 a month, and I'm like, people pay that? It's kind of jarring. So I don't know, it's like what do we do? Like, because if it comes down to like something goes wrong and we don't inherit like we're supposed to, we'll probably have the option to buy it, and it's like, do we want to buy this place? Do we want to buy a different place? Like, what do we want to do? Like, judging by everything around, like technically still staying here and buying this house would be more affordable than anything else, because on Zillow, I don't know where they get their numbers for Zillow, but our house on Zillow is listed at $55,000, but based on the home, like every year the town sends out like a tax estimate, I'm not really sure what you want to call it, but like they send out a property value estimate pretty much, and according to the city, the house is valued at 46,000, I want to say, so either 46 or 48. But on Zillow it's listed at 55. So, but still, like, and compared to other houses I'm looking at, I'm like, $55,000 is a heck of a lot cheaper than $100,000 or $200,000. Like, and I've been finding some gorgeous homes for $178,000, and I'm like, oh, I wish. But I'm like, $800 a month for a mortgage? People pay that along with all their other utilities and their bills and like their cars, and oh my God, it just makes me want to vomit. Like, and I know like $178,000 house is like cheap in some places, right? Like, we're talking, these houses are like 4-bedroom, 2-bath or more, you know, like they're not 3-bedroom, 1-bedroom houses, 3-bedroom, 1-bathroom houses like we have. These are like big houses. And so I'm like, man, if we really scrounged around, could we pay the $800 a month? And even if we could, like, how would we pay to heat and cool the place? And like, I would have to go get a full-time job somewhere. This is what it would come down to. Like, I don't think we could possibly pay that, and it's just mind-boggling that people are able to pay that. So I don't know what we're gonna do, and there's really nothing to do until she passes and we make plans from there and see how everything plays out. And again, like, according to her will, and like everything is okay in her will, and like it's all lined up, it should with no problem go to my dad and then go to us when he signs it over, but I don't like to count my chickens until they hatch, and like we don't officially own the house yet, and so it just kind of stresses me out. So there's that. Yeah, I've got some things I want to like show you guys and talk to you guys about, like just little projects we've done here and there, but we'll have to save that for a little bit later because my phone is almost dead. It's at like 14%, so I'll check in with you guys in a little bit. So anyway, yeah, we're just like hanging out inside. I asked Levi if he wanted to go outside and play, but he told me no, and I don't blame him. It is so stinking hot out. It doesn't look like it'd be that bad today. I haven't looked at the temperature, but like for the last week and a half, maybe, maybe longer, maybe 2 weeks now, every day has been like either high 80s or low 90s. I don't think we've hit the 100 mark yet, but it has been quite toasty. As you guys seen in the previous clip, we were outside and Levi wanted to go in, and we hadn't been outside more than, I don't know, maybe half an hour, and he was just over it. Even though he had his water table and he had his pool he could have got in, like it was just scorching yesterday. And then it rained last night, and so I don't know how to say, it might just be super humid. Like, even if it's like 75 or 80 but humid, like it's still miserable, you know? So my ankle itches so bad. I'm scratching it right now with my foot. I got, on the 4th of July, I got like ate up with mosquitoes on my ankles. Like, we need to spray the yard for bugs. We haven't done that this year. So, which I don't think they've been that bad. I mean, I got like one mosquito bite on my ankle. I say I got ate up. I got one mosquito bite on my ankle, but it has been driving me crazy. So, plus, Levi's sitting in there on the couch just sitting, which he's been starting to do lately, is like such a breath of fresh air. If you guys seen one of my previous videos, I told you guys, like, and I mentioned it yesterday, like we, you know, I don't want to keep bringing it up, but like, I feel like it's just going to be a part of our lives, you know, like, if this is the case. His therapist speculates that he may be on the autism spectrum, like the low end, like Asperger's, but I don't think they call it that anymore. I think it's just all autism, and it just depends on where you fall. Sorry, my ankle itches so bad. Oh my god. Dang mosquitoes. So him sitting still is something that he's just very recently started being able to do. And as I've mentioned in other videos, like he struggles with like regulating anger almost. It's like he goes from 0 to 60. It's like there's no like, wait, pause, let me think about this. Do I need to go that drastic? And I feel like talking about this might be a little bit controversial, but I know if other parents out there are struggling like we are, you may want this information. I got a baby escaping. You see him down there? Is he doing, Bean? Is he doing, Bean? So, I talked about this stuff a while ago with my first boy, Levi, who's the one who I'm talking about, who might be on the spectrum. We haven't had an official diagnosis yet. His therapist says he's quite young and she doesn't want to like put a label on him, and I'm okay with that. Like, we just need help with his anger issues. When I got pregnant with him, I started experiencing anxiety. I never had it before in my life, and I've struggled with it. And I found this stuff. It's called ashwagandha. I'm not sure how well it's picking up there, but it's just like a little capsule. And ashwagandha is it's a root, I think, from India. So that's just kind of what it looks like right there. I'm not sure how well it's focusing because the lighting's not great, but it's like a little powder inside of a gel capsule. And I have been taking them for about 6 months, and I think they make a world of difference. It has 2 different kinds of ashwagandha root, magnesium, ginger. It's got like a vegetable gel capsule, and they have one other thing in it. There's just a list of ingredients for like what the gel capsule is. But the active ingredients is 2 different kinds of ashwagandha root. There's an extract and a powder, ginger, and magnesium. So it like supports a healthy response to everyday stress, overwork, and fatigue. I have noticed a huge difference in that for myself personally. And with Levi, like I said, like we were just getting desperate with his meltdowns and how to handle those. So I decided to, we'll give it a try. You know, like it's an over-the-counter thing. It's herbal. Like it's not like a prescription medication. It's not like psychedelic or anything. I looked into doing CBD oil, but the research I was finding on CBD oil, though a lot of people said it worked really, really well. He's chewing on like a Play-Doh roller. I'm sure it tastes fantastic. You can have it back. I don't care. I was just showing what you had. But yeah, the information I was finding on CBD oil, though some people said it worked fantastic for their kids who are on the spectrum, I was finding there was reports. I forget what outlet I found it from, what source outlet, but it was reputable. I want to say it was like maybe WebMD or like, I don't remember. But there was an article I found where they went through and tested a whole bunch of different CBD oils that you could find like online, and there was a lot of them that claimed they had a certain level of CBD oil in them, and it would turn out that like they didn't have what they were claiming. Other ones would say they didn't have any THC at all, and they were finding that they did have THC in them, which is you know, the part of marijuana that like gives you the high. And so that just really made me nervous and uncomfortable with the idea of giving him CBD oil when there's that much fluctuation of like, you know, it seems like it's not very well regulated. I also couldn't find really any information on ashwagandha, But like I said, I'm taking it for 6 months myself. And I always notice a difference with my anxiety within 24 hours. So I decided I would give him half of one of my pills. And they have worked really well for him. I mean, as you can see, he's actually sitting down. And that's not something he's been able to do ever, to just sit for a long period of time and like watch TV. He's always fidgeting, moving, on the go, fidgeting with something. Like, I don't even think he has a toy in there right now. He's just sitting on the couch, which is like, you can do that, you know? And he's been doing it for, I've had him on this stuff for about a week and a half now. And then his anger issues, like, he still gets upset, but it is not the 0 to 60 like it was. It's like he's got a moment to like process. Whereas before, it's like he wasn't processing what was going on, and he would just like 0 to 60 over, or like his, like, before we started this stuff, well, it might have been the day we started it. It takes a couple of days to like get your system to start working. Sorry, I've got like, I forgot goo in my throat. So, like around the time we started giving him this stuff, before it even started working in his system, I can remember a meltdown that he had where there was an ant on the house. We were coming inside and there was an ant on the house. And I don't know why that upset him so much, but we're talking like full on the ground upset because there was an ant on the house. And I'm like, what do you want me to do about that? Like, it's an ant and they crawl around and it's on the house. Like, it's okay. Like, the ant's fine, the house is fine, you're okay. And yet you're like losing it because there's an ant on the house. So, yeah, I mean, again, it was kind of experimental. I couldn't find a whole lot about ashwagandha with kids. I found one website that sold ashwagandha in a droplet form for kids, but it seemed like a sketchy website. And so this says give to people who are 18 and older. And so that's where I feel like this is a bit experimental, because like it says 18 and older. So in 2 capsules is an adult serving. So I started to get off giving him like a 1/4 of a capsule. Whereas for me, when I take a full serving, it takes about 24 hours for me to start noticing the difference with my anxiety reducing. And for me, when I get anxious, it goes to anger. Like it comes out with me being angry and frustrated. So that's kind of why it made me think to give it to him. Because I'm like, well, if this helps me control my anger when I'm having anxiety, maybe it'll help him, you know? So, yeah, I started off giving him a 1/4 of a pill, and I've now upped it to half. But we've just, in the last week and a half, we've noticed such a difference. Just, he's in there sitting. And like I said, he still gets upset, but he's not having like the mega meltdowns that he was having. It's almost like he has a moment to process. I'm vlogging. What are you doing?
Racing.
You're racing? And he seems to focus a little bit more, like when he's playing with toys, he's like sitting a little longer and like actually focusing instead of being like dun 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 dun, dun all over the place. I'm like, oh my god, it's like calming you down, which is what it's supposed to do. It's supposed to help, you know, health response to everyday stress, overwork, and fatigue. There's other things I found on ashwagandha for like anxiety and stuff, and I'm just impressed. And if there's any other mamas out there who are struggling, like we have been with his anger issues, like I said, that's the big thing with him. Like the hyperactivity I can handle, but the mega meltdowns over nothing and ants on the house, like I was just having, and they were happening all the time. I was having a hard time handling that, and it's just been a big help. So again, this is a bit experimental. I couldn't find a whole lot of information on this for children. You know, do with what I've told you as you whatever, you know, take it as you will. But it's worked really well for us. And so that's kind of what I do, is I just put the other half in here. There's no way I can get him to take a pill. So what I do is I mix the powder in with like a drink, like a little bit of Kool-Aid or something, and he just takes it like that. But it's been like a night and day difference. You guys, I heard Ira crying, but I didn't know where he was. I thought he was under the table. He's in the dog cage. How did you get in there, Bean?
I get you in there, Bean.
Bubby's in the dog cage. Ira's in the dog cage. Hey, we gotta put pants on you. You can't get in the video right now.
I was getting in
I was in the middle of taking Levi to the bathroom, which turned out he had already had an accident. And so when I came back in here, I heard Ira crying, but we have this that goes on the cage, and so like I wasn't finding him. I didn't know where he was. Can you get out?
I'm standing.
He is standing.
He up there.
We always leave the door open so the dog can get in if he wants to. Levi, you don't have pants on. Come on. So I'm gonna get this guy out of the cage
race cars?
and get some pants on the other one.
Hey! Get me ball to the goal.
It's an outside thing.
Get me a bomb pop. Get me bomb pop. Get me bomb pop. Get me bomb pop. I want to hug mommy.
You wanna hug mommy?
Yeah.
You can hug me.
Are you
I
vlogging?
am vlogging.
The
I'm turning it off.
picture.
Hey guys, so it's like end of the day now, probably around 7 o'clock. You can hear my air fryer going over here and my microwave going back behind me. I'm making myself up some dinner. Not like I'm hungry, but like nothing sounds good, you know? So I'm gonna do up some broccoli with cheese, and I've got some chicken breasts going in the air fryer. I'm sure you care. So took Levi on a play date today. We went to go see my cousin Keisha, which you guys have seen in some vlogs, and we've seen her kids. And we went over to her friend's house. Her name is Tori. I've met her. This is my second time meeting her, but like we click really well. I really like her. So I think we will continue to have group play dates. It's kind of nice to have like a little mom clique, right? Like all three of us are moms, all of our kids are close in age. And the fun thing is that Keisha is talking about starting a vlog channel, and Tori is talking about wanting to start a vlog channel. So might have some new mamas to, you know, send your way soon, maybe. If you like me, I know you'll like them because they're just like me. So that sounded a little narcissistic. But yeah, we had all the kids together. She's got 4, but 2 of them are super little and one of them was napping the whole time. So she has like a 6-year-old, an almost 5-year-old, she's like a 1.5-year-old and a newborn. And then my cousin has an 8-year-old, a almost 5-year-old, and then her 1.5-year-old. And then I've got Levi, who will be 4 at the end of the month. And then I've got Ira, who just turned a year old. So like the kids are all pretty close in age and they play really good together. It's a mixture. There's 2 girls and the rest are all 3 girls and the rest are all boys. And they just all had a blast. So at the very end of the play date though, Levi ended up getting put in timeout. I know he was getting tired because like he'd skipped nap time and they'd been playing really hard for several hours. But he threw some attitude my way, and so he had to go sit his butt in timeout. And so I was trying to get like all of our stuff picked up and ready to leave, and we turn around and look because he just starts screaming bloody murder. Turn around and look at him, and he just has blood gushing from his nose all over his face and coated in blood, and it's dripping on his shirt, and it's all down his hands. And so I go over to try to like tip his head back, and I'm like grabbing out baby wipes and trying to like plug his nose up, and it was a mess. It's not the first time he's had a nosebleed, but it is the worst nosebleed he has ever had. And thankfully, right at that time, Tori's husband came home and saved the day. He is a trained EMT, and he had a first aid kit and went and grabbed it and had gauze, and like he knew what to do and got ice packs and was like pinch the nose here and tilt it back like this. And so they were able to get his nose to stop bleeding. And so we went on home after getting everybody cleaned up because I had blood all over me. Well, didn't get on my shirt, but like all over my hands, and it was all over Levi. So headed back towards our town because they live the next town over. So headed back towards our town, stopped at CVS. They had this like saline, I'm not sure where it got put to. I don't even see the box right now. It's right here. When you're too lazy to stand up. So yeah, it's AYR. It's a gel. It's a saline nasal gel. So have that on him and hoping that it'll moisturize his nose hole and it won't pop back open and bleed anymore. So and then Ira needed a bath because he got dirty playing over there. And then Levi needed a bath too, but he was so tired, he was kind of putting up a fight over everything, and he hates baths to begin with for the most part. He really just hates getting his hair washed. I don't feel like fighting him on it, so I'm like, whatever, I'll bathe you tomorrow. So, but Ira was Levi got sweaty, but like Ira got sweaty and dirty, like he had dirt on him because he was playing in the grass, and he was like crawling in the grass and pulling the grass, and so he just had grime on him. It was more than just sweat. So he had to get a bath. So yeah, got the kids fed fish sticks for dinner. Ira's first time having fish sticks, but he really liked them. He ate 3 of them, along with like apples and potato sticks. And yeah, boys are both in bed now, so I get a little bit of free time, and it's like 7 o'clock. That's the one nice thing about skipping naps, is I get more free time in the evening when the kids go to bed. So yeah, I got my dinner ready to go, so I'm gonna get that assembled and go eat my dinner. Yeah, that's what I was getting ready to tell you guys, show you guys. Ira, I think Ira can hear me talking because he's now in there crying. He was sleeping. He's been there for like the last hour, and I thought he was sleeping, but now I hear him in there making noises. So, have you guys seen these things? Like, how neat are these, right? Like, this is what they look like. They have them for adults as well. And so that's what they look like. And they are like no-tie shoelaces. And on Amazon, you can get, I think we got 4 of them. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, we got 4 of them for like $8. And I was like, that is awesome. You know, Levi's got like 2 pairs of shoes that have laces. He can't tie them yet. We'll get those picked out, and like he won't have to worry about shoelaces this fall when he goes to school. They don't work for his shoes. Like, I think they would work really well for a pair of Chuck Taylors, or maybe Jordans, because they have pretty big eyelets as well, like eyelet holes. But these ones, they're not fitting right down in there, right? I can't get the pin in. If it was all like this, I don't think I'd have any problems. But these are too tiny, it won't fit. And then these ones, which are his brand new pair, don't work either because they've got a freaking bungee cord that runs the length of them. So that's too big to hold them in place. Fantastic. So I don't know what we're gonna do about that. I've seen where they have these things that like, you can just keep your regular shoelaces on, and then it's like this black contraption button thing that you feed them through, and it like holds them there. So we might have to get him some of those. But we'll hold on to these anyways, because with 2 kids, eventually I'm sure we'll end up with a pair of shoes that these are gonna work for. But those are kid sized. So if you guys got a little one that doesn't know how to do their shoelaces, I will link those down below in the description if you need to get some for your kiddo. But just be aware, they do not fit all shoes. Just a heads up. So anyways, yeah, I'm gonna go figure out why Ira is crying and get my dinner. Good morning. It is Friday. Husband comes home today. I am very excited to have him back home. I hate being alone by myself. Yeah, we've kind of been lazy all morning. We didn't really get out of bed till like 10 o'clock, honestly. I stay in bed as long as the kids let me. And I think they were just tired from their play date yesterday, so they didn't really start making noises until almost 10. And they went to bed early last night, like 7-ish. So I'm not complaining. I got to lay in bed till 10. Doesn't normally happen. So I currently have Ira here on the little Mickey airplane walker. So got him on that. He's big enough to do it. If he was walking, he would easily be able to get on and off himself. But he's not walking yet. But he is finally pulling himself up, and he is walking around furniture. So that is awesome. He just barely started walking around furniture, so he's a little unsteady with it, but he's doing it. So that's exciting. Oh, I thought he was gonna fall over. I thought he was going for that little minion ball, half of it there. Good morning, Banjo. Good morning. He snuggled with me all night. He snuggles with me most nights, though. I know, you want toast. Mommy's being lazy. You need to go make breakfast. So he's supposed to be able to like sit on that and ride it, like push it with his feet, but he hasn't quite figured that out yet, the pushing with it. Then he's got little shoes on. Look at that, little Chuck Taylors. They almost don't fit. They're size 4 and they're almost too small. Like, he might wear them for like another month or so. And he's already in size 24 month, which if you don't know, 24 month and 2T are the same size, and he's a year old. Okay, he turned a year old in May. Like, why is my 1-year-old in a size 24 months? Ira, what are you doing, Bean? You like the Mickey plane? Of the day really quickly. Just comfy yoga pants. These are the first pants I found in a long time that like will actually sit lower on my hips, and they just feel more comfortable. I just feel less like covered, if that makes sense, like double layered, you know, because everything else wants to go like up to here. So, and then I just like the shirt. You guys seen it in a TJ Maxx haul probably about a month or so back, and just kind of opens up in the back here. Oh, loosey goosey. But just something comfy to hang out in, and I'm pretty sure we're gonna go to Chuck E. Cheese once the husband gets home, but probably not until this evening. And him and I both need to go donate plasma at some point. So, I have a little complaint. Excuse me. About baby trend strollers. Okay, we got the double-seated baby trend stroller. My parents bought it for me for my birthday. I was so excited to get it. Great looking stroller, and my front tire came with issues with the inner tube. So, like, I couldn't get it to inflate. Still used it, and I probably shouldn't have, but I used it flat. It was really hard to push. And then we haven't used it since then because couldn't get the inner tube to inflate. So I keep looking at the sky because it's getting like gross kind of gray. I don't know. If you guys live in Tornado Alley, you understand, right? You start getting gross looking skies and it's like, well, we got a twister coming. Yeah. Apparently tornadoes in Europe are like not a big deal. I heard that. I was watching some video. I forget what one it was. Something on YouTube. And the guy was talking about, like, he moved to America from Britain, and he was talking about how, like, he didn't know tornadoes were so dangerous as they are here, because in, like, Europe they're not, or something. Like, floored, because they take out whole cities here. Like, they just wipe everything flat. Like, they hit my mother-in-law's house a couple years ago, and, like, just about demolished it. She had a giant old pole barn. Was it a pole barn? Massive barn, right? Gone. Disappeared. Never knew where it went. Just poof. Disappeared. And they do damage here. So when the clouds start looking funky, it's like, do I need to be turning on the radio and seeing what the reports are? Anyway. So baby trend strollers. Let's get back to that. Yeah, like the inner tube, like we couldn't get inflated. So I contacted them because, you know, we had just bought it, and I sent in the like warranty papers or whatever. Sorry. You guys ever have that happen or take a drink and you have like bubbles come up your throat? I think you could probably hear that. So the guy who answers the phone I just came across like hotty toddy, okay? Like I just imagine him having his nose in the air. And I always try to be nice to people who do customer service, especially over the phone, because I've done that job. And if you want to hear about that, I can leave a link to my all my jobs video down below. But it's a rough job, okay? It is rough. So I'm always very nice to people because been there, been in your shoes. I get how other people can be. So I'm being really nice, and I'm like, hey, like, this is what like we just got the stroller from you guys, and we're having issues with the inner tube. Like, what was going on was that this piece right here, when I would go to inflate it, it was like falling down inside. So like I could not hook the air pump to it because it kept falling down inside the tube. And so the guy was like, well, what kind of pump did you use on it? And I'm like, oh, I just took it to the gas station. He's like, well, you need to use a bike pump. And my first thought is like, what? Hold up, okay? If I'm gonna spend, well, my parents spent the money, like, if I'm gonna spend almost $300 on a baby stroller, it either needs to come pre-inflated or send me a dang bike pump with it, first off. Or make them be able to handle the gas station pump, because I don't have a bike pump on hand. Probably should get one with the amount of balls Levi goes through and they go flat. Like, it would be more economical just to reinflate them than get new balls, but we get new ones. Or we just don't buy anymore. I haven't bought many new balls in a while. That's beside the point. So I'm like, well, like, I couldn't even inflate it anyways because this piece kept falling into the, you know, into the pump. Like, I never even had the air being pushed into it because as soon as you touch this, it would just fall inside the tire. The back ones aired up fine, not a problem. So he was like, okay, well, I will send you a new inner tube, which there's like a tube piece in here, like a tubing that you put the air in. He's like, I will send you out a new one. And I was like, okay, like, how do I put that on? Like, how do I take the old one off and how do I put that on? He's like, it's like changing the tire on a bike. And I'm like, I don't ride bikes. That's not what he said, but like, that was my thought process. Because that's how he was acting. That's exactly how he was acting. I was like, it's like changing the tire on a bike. Like, doesn't everybody know how to change a tire on a bike? And I'm like, dude, I don't live out in freaking Oregon or Washington or wherever you were at where apparently people ride bikes all the time. Okay, I live in freaking Podunk, Indiana, and everybody drives their big-ass SUVs everywhere because everything's so dang spread out, and half our sidewalks are busted up or they just drop off and disappear. Like, okay, like, I have never changed a bike tire, ever. So, I'm like, okay, like, I thought maybe, like, they'd have, like, a video on it. I probably should have looked at YouTube. That's probably what I should have done, but I didn't think about it. So, he sends us out the new tire, and it was free. It wasn't the whole tire, it was just the inner tube, but it was free, which was great. I was prepared to pay for it. But honestly, I would have rather paid 20, 30, 40 bucks and gotten the whole thing assembled, because now we have this. Because, my husband was like, well, I think we can do it. Because we do have a bike shop here in town. We do have a bicycle shop. And my first thought was like, well, maybe we'll see if they're still open, you know, with the virus going around. Who knows, they might have closed it up. I have no idea. But my first thought was like, let's take it over to the bike shop and see if they can put it on. So my husband's like, I think I can do it. I'm like, okay, whatever. So he gets the tire off. He gets the old inner tube off. Honestly, I'm not sure why I was having problems with the inner tube, because once you look at it, it's all in one piece. Because the way this part kept falling back inside the tire, I thought that it was like broken off or disconnected from the inner tube and was just falling in. But once we got the inner tube out of there, it looked perfect. So I don't know what the issue was. But anytime I'd put anything against it, this would just fall into the tire. So we get the new inner tube in here and we put the tire back on. Well, the pink part here is also supposed to be inside the rim of the tire. Well, that wasn't working out. And we thought, okay, well, it's probably because there's absolutely no air in the inner tube, so it just has too much give. So I just took it up to the gas station, and because again, I don't have a bicycle pump, and I used the car pump, and I just put in like a tiny little bit of air, just a little bit to start, and I was trying to maneuver this pink piece back inside of the rim, but like, I can do it. I don't know how you're supposed to get that thing to go. I couldn't do it. So finally I said, fuck it, and I just inflated the whole dang thing. So that's where we're sitting at. The tire is not coming off simply because the inner tube is so dang inflated. It's like over the edge of the inside of the rim, and yeah, you guys can probably see in there, like, I don't know how well you're noticing, but this part right here is the inner tube, and it's so well inflated it is hanging over the edge of the rim. So I mean, it seems pretty sturdy. And it's just going on a stroller, so it's not like we're going to be doing any high speeds in it. But it is frustrating because it's nearly a $300 stroller, and that's the kind of tire I end up with. Like, come on now. So I don't know, but we're gonna go do some garage sales tomorrow at the next town over. It's like super tiny. It's almost like a little pocket neighborhood. Like, not pocket neighborhood, almost like a pocket town is what I would call it. Like, it's got a park. It used to have a school, but they closed it down, so they don't have a school anymore. They have a post office and a gas station, and they have like a really small strip of what used to be stores. Half of them are closed up now. And when I mean small strip, I mean like half a street, like tiny little, like maybe 5 buildings that like at some point in time have been shops coming in and out of it. Super tiny. They used to have a cheese factory and it closed up and it's been like abandoned my entire life. So it's really like a large neighborhood, but it's called a town. So we're gonna go there tomorrow and we're just gonna park at the park and walk around because they're having a town-wide garage sale. And we were wanting to take the stroller with us so that baby Ira could ride, and then Levi would have the option to ride if he wanted to, because he's getting big enough he can walk, but like if we're walking all over the town, like he's probably gonna want to ride at some point. Plus there's a basket underneath, so if we buy anything we can stick it in the basket. So anyways, that is my rant. I'm hoping this works out. It looks kind of dumb, but honestly it's on, you know, it's on a stroller tire and ain't nobody gonna be that close to my stroller to notice. So hopefully we don't have any issues, and I feel like I've probably just way overinflated this tire, but like, oh well, we gonna roll with it, no pun intended. So other than that, other things we can talk about, which I think I kind of touched on earlier yesterday when I started this vlog, but it's just like, I feel like it's something that a lot of people struggle with. Let's see, my car starts dinging at me, but it's so dang hot. I need some air in here. Well, it's not that hot outside. I think it's like in the low 70s, but it's getting hot in here. So, yeah, I just like, I've been wanting a bigger house. I've been wanting a bigger one for a while now. And it's one of those things where I'm just like grappling with myself, if that's the right term, between like staying where we're at and we have no mortgage, or getting a bigger place, or if it comes out that we have to buy this place and take out a mortgage, like are we better off taking out a mortgage and buying the house, or should we take out a mortgage and get a bigger place? Bigger place is gonna have a bigger mortgage, but like it's tough. And like right now my husband is happy where we're at. He doesn't want to get a bigger place, and honestly this house is perfectly fine for the 4 of us. You know, it's 3 bedrooms, everybody has their own room. I mean, we just renovated the garage to be like a big living room. So it, like, from a financial standpoint, is probably the best place for us. But you guys, my ovaries have been screaming. Baby fever is real. I want another little squishy baby. I cannot wait to do foster care. Like, I just want more babies. At least I want at least one more baby. And I know foster care, the goal is reunification with the parents, and the more I look into it, the more I'm on board with that. And I'm kind of back and forth on like, would we want to adopt? I'm sure that we probably would, right? Like, if the opportunity came around, I'm sure we probably would adopt. But like, as is with Levi and Ira, I'm like, do we really want another one that's like permanent, or like, do we just have squishy babies until I get this out of my system of wanting squishy babies, you know, like. But if we had a bigger house, I would definitely want to adopt, because then I'd have more rooms and I'd be like, I want to fill them up with babies. I just want to fill them up with children. Just give me all the children, right? And I don't know. I feel like part of that is just like my mentality forever has always been like quantity over quality. A lot of times I'm like, if 1 is good, 5 is great, even though a lot of times 5 might not be great. Like, so, and sometimes I'm like, well, you know, we're doing really good with 2 kids, why not add a 3rd? Just like we're doing really good with 1 kid, why not add a 2nd? So we've got 2 extra seats in the back of the car, we can have 2 more kids. Like, I don't know. I just like being a mom. I just love being a mom. I just have like, love having little babies around. I'm not ready for them to grow up. But I hate being pregnant. I do not want to have any more pregnancies. I'm done. Oh my gosh. I don't know what that was, excuse me, but I don't like being pregnant. And I got my tubes tied, so like I can't get pregnant anyways. But like I still want more babies. So anyway, all that being said, I have a friend I was talking to, and they've got like this gorgeous 3-story house with a basement, and they only want $140,000 for it. And since they know us, they're like, well, we can just do a quick claim deed instead of going through real estate if you can get a loan for it. And I'm like, oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, right? Like, and it sits on a little over an acre of land. It's like a 3-story house on over an acre of land, and it's got a basement and a 2-car garage. And this house is just gorgeous, guys. Like, you walk in, There's a mud room, and it's large, so you can like shoes, coats, anything you need to put in the mud room. You go in from there, and it's like this large, like L-shaped living room. There's a large downstairs bathroom that has your laundry in it, and then you have a decent sized kitchen and then a very large dining area. It almost looks like a large dining room that has an attached like breakfast nook to it. It's just like a really long space. And then upstairs is like the master bedroom, even has like a sitting room in it with a master suite. And then there's two other bedrooms on that floor. And then the third floor is just like a massive loft area. Like you could very easily like wall it off and put more bedrooms up there, like probably 2 or 3 more. Huge, gorgeous house. And the basement doesn't leak, which would be fantastic. Our basement leaks. We have to have dehumidifiers running all the time, and when it rains really hard, we have like waterfalls pouring down our basement steps. It's a whole thing. And we get puddles in the basement that we gotta like, I can't tell you how many times I've been down there and there's been puddles in the basement, and I'm about to wash my towels up, so I just turn around and throw them in the puddle to soak it up and then throw them into my washing machine because it's not going to the drain fast enough. I don't know how we've not gotten mold in the basement. We have not, thankfully. I think it's just because we get the puddles cleaned up as soon as they happen, but like, it's a pain. So, I don't know, like, this little carrot dangling in front of me, I'm kind of like, oh, geez, that would be lovely. I mean, from a financial standpoint, like, $140,000 mortgage, when right now we don't have a mortgage, it's kind of like, I don't really want to take that on. Plus we still owe, we have like $9,000 we owe on a personal loan and like $14,000 left we owe on the SUV. Guys, don't buy brand new cars. I can't tell you this enough. If you've watched me for a while, you've heard it before. Don't buy brand new cars. Like, I point at it like it's over there. I'm sitting in it. This is the brand new car that we bought in 2016, our Dodge Journey. I love the car itself. Not worth the price tag we paid on it. And like, it has just hindered us financially for years, and it's just, you know, we owe another $15,000 on it, so it's like we owe like $25,000 total between our 2 loans. So from a financial standpoint, unless we could somehow like combine that extra $25,000 into a mortgage on a new house, which I don't know how smart that would be, but we would about have to do that to be able to afford like a mortgage payment every month. Because we're paying like, so, well, we were paying $530 a month on the car, but then we refinanced our loans, so we owe, I think it's $280 on the personal and like $430 on the car. So we're saving a little over $100 a month on the car now, which is nice to have an extra $100 opened up. But and with refinancing everything, we were able to pay off my husband's car, so that was nice. So we have a car title to something. We own something. But like, I don't even know how we would come up with a down payment for a house, honestly. Like, you know, because they want like X amount down. I think they want like 3% down. Is that right? I could be wrong. I was looking through Zillow the other day, and it said most places want like 3%, which I thought it used to be 10%. Regardless, I don't know where we'd be coming up with that money from. Like, we're lucky to have a couple $100s left over at the end of the month after it's all said and done. So, like, we would have to hope that the government comes through with another stimulus check, and then hope that, you know, be able to keep our tax return check at the end of the next year. Speaking of, I need to start making some investments into YouTube so that I can use it as tax write-off. Otherwise, I'm gonna end up owing Uncle Sam a nice little chunk of change. So, anyway, my whole rant revolving all around that is like, I'm trying to keep myself level-headed because it's so easy to daydream and get your head in the clouds and be like, oh, this house would be so beautiful, it'd be so nice to live there. But at the end of the day, a lot of times, like, the grass isn't always greener on the other side. And like, my friend and her family wanted out of there for a reason. You know, like, it's really big, and big houses come with, you know, more utilities and like higher cost utilities. And I don't know. I don't know what all their issues were with it, but there's still part of me that's like, I do want a big house. Right, like you watch HGTV and all these people like younger than me are out buying like mansions. I'm like, I want a big house. How can you afford this? I'm out of water. Okay, so I'm gonna head on inside. We're gonna get the stroller put together so that it's ready in the morning. And I'll check with you guys tomorrow and take you guys with us to do some garage selling. What do you guys call it? Rummage selling? Garage selling? What do you call it? Hey everyone, it is Saturday. Yesterday, Friday evening, my husband and I took the kids to Chuck E. Cheese, so I will insert a few pictures and clips here.
Like this. We're not gonna get him.
Mustn't let the bunnies get lost now.
How many tickets you get?
I got
I think Ira wants to play it.
I got
Oh, that's a lot of tickets. Hand them to Daddy.
again.
I did not film in there too much just because, you know, there's other families there and I don't want to like put them in my vlog. And then today we went and did garage sales. The kids had donuts. I wish I would have taken a picture because Ira was all about this chocolate donut he got. I think this might be the first time Ira's ever even had a donut. But it was the cutest thing. It had like chocolate frosting on the top and Bavarian cream. Technically it was Levi's donut. He ate half of it and was done. And so we just gave it to Ira. And Ira was like literally had it shoved like half in his mouth and was like sucking the Bavarian cream out. It was so cute. I wish I would have gotten a picture, but I didn't. And so yeah, we poked around garage sales. I took 40 with me and we spent 20. And I got 2 bags of clothes for the boys for this fall and winter, along with some shoes, which is pretty exciting. Not that Levi needed any more shoes, but they were pretty nice. They're like $1 a piece. And then he also got some toys. He's got most of them right here. Not all of these came from the garage sale, but most of them did. So yeah, I mean, we did pretty good. And then we also got an ottoman for the garage. We only had to pay $2 for it. It's like a giant footstool, really. And yeah, we only had to pay $2 for it because the person's cat had scratched a hole through the bottom of it. And then one of the support beams was broken on the inside, but it really didn't affect sitting on it any. The lady even sat on it in front of us. She's like, you know, it seems like it's okay. And it's just not in the garage where, I mean, the love seat that's out there, the cushion on it has a big old rip in it. So it's not like we're looking for anything fancy. You just want something to put our feet up on while we're watching movies in the garage. So yeah, I did pretty good at the garage sales today. I got these little foot things to work, or shoelace things to work on Ira's Converse. So hopefully maybe that makes it a little more comfortable for him and he won't be grabbing out the shoelaces all the time. So like these little things are neat and I will link them below, but just a forewarning, they don't work for all shoes. They need to have like the larger like little eyelet holes. I can't remember if I showed you guys what the house is looking like, especially the living room. So I'll flip the camera around and kind of show you guys a few things we've changed. Okay, so we now have a large empty wall in the dining room because all of the video games went outside to the garage. Cat shelves you guys have seen. I finally got those all assembled. I had somebody ask me about where we bought those and I actually made these myself. They sell the wooden boards at Lowe's and they're under 20. And then the brackets you can get at Lowe's as well. And we had leftover carpet. I actually made these when we lived in our trailer and we used to have them hung up in there. But then when we moved in here, I couldn't figure out exactly where to put them. We had 2 in the living room that we ended up throwing junk on top of. And then we had 2 tucked behind the refrigerator in the kitchen so the cats get on top of the cabinets. But with our new refrigerator, there's not enough room for them to have the shelves in there. So we've done this with it. That's what we have going in there. Whoa, cake and toys. Video games are gone from here. Got a lot of this cleaned off junk we had. I want to move this into the living room. I want to put it there by the door, almost like an entryway stand. And then mirrors, we hung these up here, the matching set. So we got those in here now instead of in the dining room. They used to be above the video games in the dining room. And then we took the love seat that was here out to the garage to sit on. And I picked this guy up at a antique store. A lot of you guys would have seen it on Instagram. And I liked it because it was just good for the kids to put their toys in. So it had these like little bookshelf slots down here. I don't know how well that's showing up. There we go, I put the flash on. So we're able to put Levi's coloring books in here. He's got crayons and some counting things. And then the drawers, I've started replacing the knobs. So I've got these ones all replaced, but then I bought these ones to switch out for those, but they're just a little bit off, right? They're just a little bit wider than what I need them to be. So I need to take these back to Lowe's. That's what all this stuff is. I need to take these back to Lowe's and find some with different like sizing. It'll fit better. But yeah, so we got a drawer we can put our remotes in, and a lot of these are empty. Like I don't think there's anything in half of these currently. And then we've got kids toys. So these ones are like sets. So like this has, you know, like the little pucks, and it's got the little things you hold to hit them around, like a Paw Patrol puzzle thing back there, Thomas the Train puzzle. So just a good place to put sets of things. And then in here we had a bunch of Levi's like Hot Wheels and stuff, but he's drugged them out, so there are other places. So it just kind of worked out as like a perfect little entertainment center for our living room. It would be nice if it was a little bit wider to take up the space, because I can't quite center it, otherwise it doesn't hide the cords. So it has to be pushed up against the wall in the corner, so kind of a little gapping there. But otherwise I think it looks okay, and works out perfect for Levi to put some toys in. Any of them that he like wants to keep in the living room. So I'm gonna take you out to the garage and show you what we've done out there, and then we'll wrap things up with this vlog. Okay, so here's what the garage is looking like. We let Levi pick the paint color, and he wanted a candy apple red, which I don't mind. I think it looks pretty good. The curtains I made myself. I think they turned out pretty good for being homemade curtains. I didn't think we would find curtains the right size for these windows because they're so tiny. And I had just extra fabric laying around, so got creative, did it myself. The husband's working on making a stand. He's got like some kind of like a video game thing, like control switch that goes here, and so displays up on the TV. And that was my husband's Father's Day gift, was a TV for the garage, because the one he had he was gonna put out here actually went out on him. It worked in our bedroom for years, and the second he moved it out here, like it stopped turning on. So we got him that for Father's Day. And then yeah, we've just got all of the video games lined up out here. Those are some posters that he had. A little office space. My husband works out here, which is the whole reason we started doing the renovation in the garage, is because the virus hit and he had to start working from home, and there was no good place in the house for him to work that was quiet. So yeah, now he's got this little, I found this little table set out in the back alley, somebody just threw it out. So it's worked out perfect as like a little office space for him. And that little office chair we had in the kitchen, at our little like table with the computer in the kitchen. So yeah, that's worked out well. We don't have any lights in here yet, so that's something we still have to get done. The rafters are still totally open, which I think we're gonna leave alone for now, just because it's gonna be really expensive and kind of labor intensive to put a ceiling in. But we did put a ceiling here along this edge. My husband and I did it ourselves. It is not perfect, as you can see. There's some lumps and bumps. I guess we do have one light out here. It's just kind of plugged in. So it's not perfect, but for doing it ourselves, and first time ever doing a ceiling, I don't think it's too bad. So yeah, we've got the storage loft, which is something that I wanted out here. And then we still need to get trim. So we'll get trim to run along the edging here, and then we need trim here along the bottom, along here. And there's no air conditioning out here. It gets quite toasty. So we've got two fans. They do a pretty good job of keeping the place cool. And then we have our projector screen and the projector, which surprisingly didn't cost that much off Amazon. I think in total my husband spent about $50, maybe $75 for both. And then he just got the sound bar because the sound that comes out of the projector is horrible. You can't hear anything. So I think the projector was $75. So yeah, that worked out pretty well. Pretty excited about that. We've been coming out here in the evenings when it's cool and the kids are in bed, and we've been snuggling on the couch and watching movies, so we've really been enjoying it. Just a little end table out here. We need to take all the cups inside from the past couple of days. They've been building up. Playpen for Ira when we're out here, and we've got a little behind the couch coffee table. I used to have my fish tank on this. You guys have been watching me for a really long time. You probably remember it. And yeah, that's just the garage. That's how it turned out, and we are really quite pleased. Like I said, it's pretty much done. It's definitely functional now. Just need to get the trim put in, and then we need to wire in our lights up here on the ceiling. So pretty much done. And then we want to save up the money and get a storage shelf. Sorry about the back door. So we just have some extra garage stuff right here, and we want to get a storage shelf to go on that back wall to tidy this all up. But we're saving up the money for that because it's like $130. So that's gonna be a minute. And then that's the ottoman that we got for $2 at the garage sale today. So perfect place to sit and put our feet up. It does have stains on it, but again, like, we don't care. And look at the couch we're sitting on. Big old hole in it, so it don't really matter. But they're comfortable. Put my feet up on it, and that's all that really matters. So that's gonna be everything for the video today. Thank you so much for watching. I'm sorry that it's choppy. It's been a minute since I've vlogged, so I guess I'm getting a little rusty. But thanks for following me around and just hanging out with me. And yeah, if you're new here, I hope that you subscribe and maybe take the time to check out some of my other videos. And if you've been here for a long time, thank you so much for watching me regularly and supporting my channel. It means so much to me, you don't even know. And it means a lot to my family, especially since I'm not even working right now because coronavirus, my job has just kind of disappeared. And you guys are awesome. Like, the money that I make here is like completely replacing what I was doing with my job. I was making like $550 a month at my job, which is now gone. And now I'm making about $500 a month here on YouTube. So you guys are picking up the slack from watching my videos and watching the ads, and I really, really, really appreciate it. So thank you so, so much. And yeah, we're gonna wrap things up here. So thank you for watching, and I hope to catch you in my next one.